Good day, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world. I'm very pleased to welcome you today to Gail Cameron's Fear to Freedom book launch. In this book, Gail draws on her own life and more than 20 years of executive and leadership coaching experience to help us understand how to overcome all those negative and limiting beliefs that might hinder our personal growth and professional success. Also, make sure to stay tuned right to the end, as you may stand a chance to win 1 out of 3 signed copies of the book, Fear to Freedom. So without further ado, let's take a quick look at what Fear to Freedom is all about.
Hi, this is Gail Cameron, the author of From Fear to Freedom. I have been a coach for nearly 30 years, and I have run my own business for almost as long. Anyone who has been in business will have experienced the highs and lows that a business can go through. Fear, anxiety, guilt, anger are just a few of the tough life experiences. Nothing, however, could prepare us for COVID. Everything we know and trust has been disrupted or destroyed. Concepts once held onto no longer exist. And I've walked this path, experiencing a great many challenges and disruptions. And as I learned the lessons, I was able to translate that into solutions for my clients. So too am I here to remind you, there is hope. There is a path through the storm. My team of coaches and I are here to help you navigate through these difficulties to peace and joy. This is attainable now. You can download my book from Kindle or Smashwords, or you can contact any of our coaches on My Pocket Coach. We have an app. Or you can email us directly on www.iegroup.co.za. We're here to help you.
So for those of you who know Gail, know that she is the founder and managing director of the acclaimed Image Excellence Group and My Pocket Coach app. She studied at Trinity College London and published her first book, Voice Excellence, in 1994. Gail also appeared in the book Inspirational Women and was the finalist in South Africa's Most Influential Women in Business and Government in 2008. I was nominated again for this prestigious award in 2014 and 2015. And it does not stop there. As an internationally acclaimed speaker, Gail has also addressed the IABC's conference in New York in 2008 on authentic African leadership, and in San Francisco the following year on the impact of emotional intelligence in business. In 2020, Gail addressed business leaders at the International Conference in Toronto on the quantum physics of leadership success, where she was rated 6th out of 67 speakers. In June 2014, Gail addressed the International Conference on Nelson Mandela's Leadership Impact and was awarded the prestigious All-Star Speaker Award. Her second book, Authentic African Leadership, was then published in November 2013, and now she has written her third, From Fear to Freedom. Gail, tell us more about what inspired you to write From Fear to Freedom.
Thank you so much, Elri, and just welcome everybody. It's so wonderful to be in contact again, and I've really been humbled by the response. We've got friends all over the world who are attending this launch with us. I started writing From Fear to Freedom in 2016, and it took me down many paths looking for answers to challenges that I was experiencing. And as I found the answers to those challenges, I knew that this would also assist our clients. But somehow the answers that I was looking for took me down so many different pathways, but it kept bringing me back to the same answer. So I'd try again, look deeper, listen harder. And every time I'd come back with the same answer. until it became very, very clear. The answer was inside me. And I'm going to quote from the book. And this is dated the 27th of March, 2020. As we prepare for a state of disaster, there will be total isolation for 21 days. The moment our president made the announcement, it became real. This is dangerous and deadly. It will cause an economic crisis. How will I cope in quarantine with my family that I've not spent much time with recently? What if I get retrenched? What am I going to do with the time? With that, the unprecedented, unplanned, and unprepared for began. Everyone with a laptop and email was frantically online. Zoom, Microsoft Teams, WebEx gained access into our lounges, living spaces, and makeshift work desks. What do we need to think about was a phrase I heard. We need to come up with innovative ideas and practices. Now is the time. Get your teams together, talk to them, think of ways of managing this. South Africans, who are known for their work ethic globally, were in a quandary. Weekends felt uncomfortable. People everywhere began cleaning, clearing, reorganizing. Minute by minute updates on the worldometer reported deaths and infections. Those resisting the lockdown were brutally dealt with. Global news was bleak. Anxiety was rising. Companies had enforced annual leave and others were implementing retrenchments. Stop. Breathe. Bring your awareness to this current moment. Therefore, I tell, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body and what you will put on. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet they are fed. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to the span of your life? At the core of consciousness creation lies self-regard. It is the real healing force. It is the only path through fear. Fear will come and go. Its ebb and flow can be truly mastered through self-value. You have to experience it first. It had to be brought into your life. But there is a solution. There is a path through it. The path is self-value. So allow your thoughts to be guided back to love. Surrender the false perceptions that you placed upon yourself. So the force of self-value is beyond cognition. It is beyond metacognition. It really is wisdom. And if you can access that wisdom, which lies behind the mind, you can see all the interrelated parts. And then it's really simplicity. When you can appreciate who you are and your potential, you enable those around you. You cannot give, be, do what you do not have. But when you can glimpse the authentic person, the person who is not afraid to be who they are, the world begins to change. Darkness begins to lift, and a path of hope lights your way. Thank you so much for listening to this little excerpt. And now I have great pleasure in introducing you to Bongiwe Pitye-Vokwana. Bongiwe is the general manager of Oliver Tambo International Airport, and I had the great honor of coaching her and her executive leadership team 2 years ago. Bongiwe is the general manager of Oliver Tambo and is responsible for all the operations and facilities management of the airport. Qualified in international and commercial law, Bongiwe has exhibited exemplary leadership through a time of change and challenge. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you, Bongiwe.
Thank you very much, Gail, to you and your team for the opportunity to be part of this webinar. And congratulations yet again on this new book. I can't wait to lay my hands on it. So perhaps just a bit of background of who I am and where I come from, because that's important. I was born in a rural area just outside King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape, to parents who were educators. They taught us many things, but most importantly, that we could be anything we dreamed of becoming, provided we really put in our shoulders to the wheel. I studied law to the level of admission as a practicing attorney, and for various reasons that I would not have enough time to share, I then ventured out. I thought I was making a short stint in aviation, but clearly 20 years later and counting, it clearly was not. I really have been blessed with excellent support within my company that has really empowered and enabled me to lead strategic projects that are at the heart of stimulating economies, both in South Africa and abroad. But given what today is about, which is to celebrate the launch of Gail's new book, the true test of character for me has been without a doubt in my leadership journey. And I count myself very fortunate and blessed to have met Gail Cameron as my executive coach, mentor, and a dear friend. Gail pegs the time that she started coaching myself and my team 2 years ago due to her own humility. Gail continues to provide me the necessary support as I meander through life's ups and downs. Throughout our years together, I've learned the importance of leading authentically and from the heart. And when I started out in leadership roles, like any other person, sometimes trying to impress, I was a bit of a hard taskmaster. And therefore, when I had to be taught by Gail the importance of leading authentically, it was quite a huge change for me. But when I embraced it, I can confirm that I was very humbled by the responsiveness from the teams that I lead, coupled with high levels of engagement, as well as tangible work outputs. Gail, in her book, particularly called Authentic African Leadership, draws her inspiration on many great African leaders. And I know for a fact that one of her sources of inspiration is our great one, the late Nelson Mandela. So speaking of authenticity and what I've just articulated as something that I've learned from Gail, I'd like to quote from what our great one once said, open quotes. If you want the cooperation of humans around you, you must make them feel they are important. And you do that by being genuine and humble. Close quote. Gail is very passionate about teaching others to always ensure that whatever we do, we must let it come from a good place. Through teaching and coaching, mentoring and guidance from Gail, I have learned the importance of having a nurturing spirit, which she herself, by the way, displays and exhibits so naturally. and I've learned the importance of being empathetic. Gail makes each person that knows her to always want to be around her and actually look forward to receive good advice, guidance, and most importantly, love. We tend to think that sometimes that word should only be confined to our intimate relationships and family. Gail talks about love a lot. And when I started to practice that, being empathetic, displaying my likeness and my love for those that I work with, the results are just amazing. The cohesiveness that it introduces into a work environment, because we all want to feel that we matter. Gail helped my team and I through a very trying time in the almost 2 years ago that she speaks to. But what was amazing about that experience was almost how she cracked all of us open. And we'll all appreciate that as teams, we come from different walks of life. But Gail was able to get us to open up about all sorts of things and stuff that we had either suppressed or that we did not want to confront, and most of which in certain instances was possibly holding us back from being the best that we can be in our personal lives, at work, as well as in our communities. In conclusion, the greatest coaching gift that Gail has imparted on me is mindfulness. The importance of making time for myself in a quiet space, if possible, with family around, the importance of being in the moment and switching off from the noise has really brought me with much needed inner peace and a sense of calmness. And in fact, practicing mindfulness has really helped me to meander through these difficult times of uncertainty, through this fearful period wherein we know for sure that one, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Two, our businesses are obviously not performing as they should, and as such, we do not know where we're going to land up. But being mindful, being in the moment, and really just trying to draw from my own inner strength. That is one of the greatest coaching gifts that I've learned from Gail. And in my personal level, it has helped me to identify what are my joy stealers, and obviously try to always ensure that even if I do not have immediate answers, but how do I then ensure that they do not consume more of my life than they deserve to. So I do count myself as being a work in progress. And as I navigate through my own life's moments of summer, my own moments of winter, my own moments of spring, my own moments of autumn. And for that, I thank you, Gail, for teaching me the concept of mindfulness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bongiwe. You are truly inspirational. Our next speaker is the CEO of South Africa's preeminent publishing corporation, Juta and Company. He is also an experienced industry leader and a strategic innovator who has successfully modernized and digitally transformed the traditional publishing company into a digital player. With more than 20 years of experience in multiple roles with management, strategy, leadership, and of course, a proud father of 3 girls, please welcome Kamal Patel. So Kamal, you have been through the leadership coaching program with Gail and the Iron Group team. Tell us more about your journey from fear to freedom.
Thank you, Elri. It really is an honor to be speaking today, and thanks for the invite. Firstly, congratulations to Gail on a really phenomenal book. I've just started it and about halfway through, and really enjoying the journey and your life story, and a lot we can learn from it. I think we all can see ourselves in some shape or form in the book, some of us literally, and if not figuratively, in the lessons that we've learned through our lives as we go through. My coaching journey with Gail and the team has really given me a leap forward in so many ways in understanding myself and really unlocking my innate potential. I'm sure all of you agree with me that Gail is one unique individual, and so is the team. And I've had the opportunity to work with Elri, Siobhan, and Linda. And what they do is beyond coaching for me. It's far more of a spiritual experience, an awakening of our deeper truth. And for me, it really awakened my deeper truth. There were many lessons that I've learned as I went through the process. And if I could just touch on a few of them, and many of them are actually in her book, in terms of the stories that she tells. And the first lesson I learned is that we have far more blind spots than we think we do. What we think and what we want and what we need is not always what the universe has planned for us and what the universe is going to teach us. And what I came into the IE group for in terms of my coaching expectations and what I got was completely different. A very tunnel vision of where I thought I needed to go in terms of things I needed to work on and develop. But Gail and the team really helped me expand my horizons and took me on a path of discovery that I had no clue I'd entered into. And it's really a testament to a great coach, or great coaches, that have the ability to help you uncover things that you didn't see before. So it's something that I really cherished and enjoyed as part of the journey. The second lesson I learned is that our impediments stem from fear. The title of Gail's book could easily be the title of my coaching experience, and it's it tells the tale, right? It feels like she was writing the book and the lessons that she's learned very much about my journey and what I've learned. And I think there's something in there, and that we can all resonate with a lot of what she speaks to, because that is part of life. Fear is part of life, and overcoming it and understanding it is really what she speaks to in terms of finding our true potential. And I think we as those who read the book and as we do read the book, you'll find the same in terms of resonating with it. But fear is really a teacher in so many ways, and I think what I learned through the process is how to learn and overcome it, but continuously work with it, because it's a part of life. The other lesson I learned was that we actually know ourselves far better than we think we do. A great coach doesn't give you the answer. They help you find the answers from within you. And it really felt like I had the opportunity and the space to really discover the questions and also discover the answers. And what sometimes seemed to be long and arduous processes really revealed phenomenal learnings for me as I went through the process. And as Gail speaks in the book to her learnings and her kind of experiences through life, we all have them. I think, and for me, the coaching experience was an opportunity really to reflect on them and to learn from them, as opposed to learning new information from an external source. So for me, that was really a revelation, in that we really do know ourselves better than we think we do, and sometimes we need processes, and that for me is essentially what coaching is. It's really a process to help you uncover the learnings about yourself that you really have within you, to help you find your full potential. I came across the invitation, the book, about 18 years ago on one of my travels, and it really had a profound effect on me in the way I saw the world. And it's something that I certainly can't say that I've achieved, but it's something I continuously have been striving for since finding this book. And it's no coincidence that Gail has that in her book, and I think she's speaking to it later. But there really is, I think, an intricate web that weaves all of our experiences together in life, and that tells a story. And very much what is a process to understand. Coaching is a process to understand your story, and that's what I got from it. So with that, I think I'd really like to thank Gail for telling us her story. because there's a lot that we all can learn from it. Gail and her team have had a profound impact on me, and I guess has had a profound effect on a number of people, like Bongiwe spoke, and there's many of you on this call that would have been coached by Gail and the team, and I think it really is a phenomenal experience. So together, the team, keep doing what you guys do and help us live to our full potential. Thank you.
Sure, thank you so much, Kamal. There is something that you said that rings with so much truth, and I wrote it down. You said, a great coach doesn't give you the answer, they let you discover it on your own. And that's the power of that journey. So sure, that gave me goosebumps. So wow, nice. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing your lessons and your experiences, your takeout to overcoming fear. Now, we're also honored to have Sanjay Vanmali here, who is the Head of Compliance, Shared Services and Group Regulatory Relations at ABSA, and later a presentation of the poem, The Invitation, by Aurea Mountain Dreamer, presented by Candice. This poem is also presented in the book, so you can find it there. So Sanjay, you have also completed the program with Gail and the IU Group team. Please share with us your relation to that.
Indeed, an honor and a privilege to speak to Gail's book launch, and thank you very much. Actually, when you said that, I would like to quote one of the most said quotes for this year. Apparently, is "You're on mute." So I actually experience that now. So I think. When I was asked to say a few words, my journey with Gail started in 2017. And when I was approached to say, let's, if you can share your journey with Gail, it wasn't a very difficult task because, whatever journey I went through with Gail, it's a life experience I'm experiencing now, either consciously or subconsciously. Which is actually quite profound, because when I sat back and reflected, the couple of things that immediately came to mind when working with Gail and the team was the immediate connection that I had with Gail. From the time I met her, from the time we introduced each other, through the journey that the coaching program took us through, there was such a sense of comfort. Gail created a very much a shared space where you could really, dig deep and say what you wanted to say. And, that it was really, thank you very much for that. And that at that point in time also, I was at a journey where I had to make some big career decisions. And I think the coaching with Gail really made that decision-making so much easy. It was a tough decision to make, but I think through a lot of the coaching techniques, that decision and the outcome of the decision was very easy. So Gail, once again, thank you very much for that. In reflecting, Gail, the few things that really, really stood out for me was and a lot of the speakers have said this, was the spiritual journey that you've taken me through. And the journey around the universe and the forces of the universe, there was a huge element of deep cleansing within myself. And that deep cleansing is not, a diet or anything that I took, but it was really digging deep within oneself to find answers. And I think it's touching a lot on, some of the techniques, Gail, around quantum physics. One of the speakers spoke about mindfulness, and those two elements of my coaching really, really stand out. And in fact, that is part of my being, the way I live today. And if I can share a couple of things around, when I talk about mindfulness and we talk about the forces that, the energies of quantum physics, at that point in time, your focus and my focus certainly was a very work-related focus. One of the speakers also said, we got a task to do, we got a goal to achieve, and we set ourselves and we go and achieve that. And what he taught me through Gail was, just pause, just stop and reflect and dig deep right in you around what are the things that are important to you, and be authentic about that importance. What are the things that are really things that you're doing that you don't want to do? And those things and those elements and those questions that were asked become so important. And to date, I really practice those. It's something that subconsciously I just do, and it's become something that I can really appreciate. And in fact, made my approach to life and decision making so much more easier. And many of the speakers spoke about a book, and I would like to quote from one of Gail's books, The Authentic African Leadership. And she asked the questions, why is empathy crucial for a leader? And Gail says, 80% of employees are driven by fear and kept hostage by somebody or themselves. Being a hostage speaks to a lack of personal power. And when we experience a lack of personal power, the brain experiences a lack of safety, promotes survival responses prevent the brain from working in an optimal way. Resilient leaders are secure leaders who provide a sense of protection, give a sense of comfort, and offer a source of energy and inspiration to explore, take risks, and bring up innovation and effective solutions. So, Gail, this really summarizes our journey and where you've got me to. Thank you very much. And I'm so excited for this book launch of yours. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Gail.
It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing, it doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you've been opened up by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful or realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you're telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. I want to know if you can be faithless and therefore be trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty, even when it's not pretty, every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand on the edge of a lake and shout to the silver of the moon, yes! It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done for the children. It doesn't interest me who you are, how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments.
Thank you so much, Johanica and Candice, for that. And thank you so much, Sanjay, for sharing your experiences with us. So Gail was asked to randomly select 3 lucky winners who will all receive a signed copy of her book, From Fear to Freedom, and I've got those luckies right here. So the first out of the 3 is Hilton Curry. Our second winner is Daisy Corsi. And our third and final winner is Ornella De Rosa. So congratulations to those participants. You will all be receiving a signed copy of Gail Cameron's 3rd published book, From Fear to Freedom. And before I give over to Gail, I would just like to say for myself, Elri, Wium, and Johanica Havenga and her team who ensured a seamless online launch, we really want to thank everyone who joined us today to celebrate and endorse Gail's accomplishments and your book. Your thoughtfulness and support is very much appreciated, and we hope this book can be a guide for everyone who has experienced the side effects of fear and those who believe that there is a way through it. Gail's book is also available on Amazon, Kindle, and Smashwords, or you can contact the IE Group offices for a signed copy. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you so much, Elri. Thank you for being our beautiful MC. I'd just like to thank everybody for being here today, and especially our guest speakers. You actually brought a tear to my eye. I'm humbled and grateful for your words. I know that I have an incredible coaching team here who gives so much to help people improve their lives. And I am so grateful for that. I want to thank also the team who arranged the webinar, and especially I would like to mention Johanica, because without Johanica, this book would not have been published. She was my editor-in-chief, and she did an incredible job. And I'd also like to thank her for setting up the webinar and for running it so beautifully. So thank you so much, and bless all of you. Have a great day.